healthy is a lifetime journey, should be a lifetime journey. It is not something that we pick up or drop off whenever it feels convenient for us. It is something that should be a part of our life. It is something that should be a lifetime project for every one of us, because the benefits outweighs the stress, outweighs the challenges, outweighs the difficulties involved in it. You might fall, we all do, but the important thing is to pick yourself up and get right back in the game. Hello everyone, my name is Angela Okwe and you're welcome to Angel's Healthy Choices. On today's video, I'm talking about 13 tips for living healthy. Getting right into it. Number 1, water. Water is very important. We must drink water on a daily basis. It is recommended that we drink at least 8 cups of water. That is about 2 liters. For some people, it is recommended to drink about 2.5 liters of water every day. I say do what you can. You don't have to force it, because the more you force these things, the more they become difficult for you. Start with what you can and build it up if already you are not doing so. And there are some ways in which you can incorporate water into your daily life that will make it so much easier. Some people like to add apple cider vinegar to their water. Some people add lemon. Some people like to drink it like that. Some people like to infuse it with fruits, just to make the water tasty and interesting to drink. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, go for it. I personally drink water alone sometimes, and sometimes I also mix with apple cider vinegar, lemon, and all that goodness. Next thing is turmeric. I want you to make turmeric your friend, because I have made it my friend. Turmeric contains a compound known as curcumin. That is what gives it that beautiful golden yellowish color that it has. Apart from its beautiful color, turmeric is a very healthy food. It's a spice. Okay, yes, it's a spice. So it's a great addition to our cooking, our meals, because it holds so many health benefits. Turmeric helps in so many ways. It helps with our blood sugar. It helps with heart disease. There are several studies out there that I have looked at, that I have read about, and that have said so many great things about turmeric. Mostly curcumin, this compound that it contains. It helps in recovery from surgery, like better recovery from surgery. It helps with Alzheimer's. It helps with osteoporosis. It helps with arthritis. The list goes on, and there are still several studies going on, and more results, more things are coming out all the time about the benefits of curcumin. So it is advised that we have curcumin daily or regularly in our meals. And how do you incorporate curcumin or turmeric into your daily meals? It doesn't have to be only in your cooking. You can have turmeric as a tea or as a drink, as the case may be. Sometimes I do a turmeric drink. I have like a short video on my channel where I've added turmeric to oranges, and it's gave me this lovely drink. And when I'm thinking about that drink, I think about the fiber from the orange, because the orange, you don't have to sieve it. You just blend everything as it is and drink it whole. If you know that drinking orange as a whole or consuming the whole of an orange holds more benefit than just sieving out or juicing the orange and taking only the liquid. So in that recipe, um, I ground everything together with the turmeric and gave it a and drank it right off like that. I got that recipe um, from Instagram, a doctor, a gut health doctor that I follow on Instagram, and the drink is delicious. You drink the whole thing because you're drinking it, you think about all the fiber you're getting from that drink, plus the benefits of the turmeric. So you can go and try out that drink, or yeah, orange and turmeric drink. It is wonderful, it is delicious, I tell you. So I have made turmeric my friend because of all these beautiful benefits that it holds, and I wish you would do the same. Cinnamon is the third thing. Cinnamon, just like turmeric, is also a spice, and it is also wonderful for our health. Cinnamon helps in reducing our blood sugar levels. That is one thing that stands out that I always remember when I think about cinnamon. So I tend to always have it at home. I can also whip up a drink on its own, or I add it with ginger, or even with the turmeric, apple cider vinegar, lemon, and sometimes, yes, even green tea. It all works perfectly for our health. These are things that aid us not just in little ways, they aid us a lot in great ways, actually, in helping us get healthier from the inside out. So cinnamon is another great thing that I've added to my collection of healthy food. Fourth tip that I want to share with you is the fact that you can eat a lot more vegetables. Vegetables, a lot of people think, are restricted to soups or salads, and they are eaten once in a while or so. I want to encourage you to eat a lot more vegetables. It is a great tip for living healthy because eating vegetables helps digestion, because vegetables contain a lot of fiber. They are good for our digestion. Vegetables are rich sources, some of them are rich sources of calcium. So vegetables are a great addition to our healthy lifestyle. And an interesting way that I have used to up my intake of vegetables is eating vegetables at any given time of the day. You know, traditionally breakfasts, especially the English type of breakfast or the African breakfast that we are used to, I don't know, in whatever part of the world you're watching me from, traditionally breakfasts don't really have so much vegetables as such. Sometimes you can find a little bit of lettuce, cucumbers here and there. But I want to encourage you to eat more vegetables. You can have vegetables for breakfast. Like have a big bowl of vegetables, like a bowl of salad for breakfast. You can have that with your lunch as well. You can have that with your dinner. But I'm not saying it has to be all the time. I'm just saying that these are ways that you can increase your intake of vegetables. Have it at any meal. Don't restrict vegetables to dinner. Don't restrict vegetables to lunch. You can have vegetables with your breakfast. You can have vegetables and fruits alone as your breakfast. And you can have it with other kinds of food as well. So you can increase your intake of vegetables by introducing it in one way or the other into each and every meal. A perfect example is making vegetables fill up half of your plate. For instance, you're eating jollof rice. Half of the plate should be vegetables. It can be your carrots, your cabbage, it can be a salad, it can just be spinach or lettuce or cucumber. Another important tip I have for you is cutting out or cutting drastically down processed foods. Processed foods have no nutritional benefits for us. They just taste good, but they have no nutritional benefits. Processed foods like um, chips, biscuits, cakes, ice cream, and so on and so forth. Packaged foods, foods that have been processed, they offer no benefits, they offer no nutritional benefits. At best, we should be consuming them like very occasionally, sparingly. I would say it shouldn't be a part of our regular diet. It shouldn't be a part of us because they offer us no good values. Instead, they make us sick because they are laced with too much sugar. Either if there's too much sugar, or there's too much oil, or there's too much sugar, oil, and salt. In most cases, they have a lot of salt, sugar, oil, and all of these other things that are not good for us. So we should be cutting out processed foods. And in place of processed foods, I want us to incorporate whole foods instead. Whole foods are foods that are still in their natural state, foods that we consume in its natural state, foods that have not been stripped of any of its nutrients, foods that still contain the things that nature brought with them or nature put in them naturally. So foods like whole grains, foods like potatoes, foods like yam, foods like corn. I'm talking about complex carbohydrates. I'm talking about fruits. I'm talking about vegetables. I'm talking about nuts and seeds. I'm talking about legumes, including lentils, beans. So many kinds of beans out there. There's lentils, there's beans, garbanzo beans, black-eyed beans or black-eyed peas, kidney beans, so on and so forth. Lentils, yellow split peas, and all the rest of it. These are whole foods, foods that are still natural. They get harvested from the farm and get sold to us, and we cook. We just go ahead and cook them in their natural state. They have not been processed in any factory where they have gone through series of stripping, series of peeling, series of cooking and frying and all whatnot. In that process, they also go through series of what they call it. They add things to it, things for preservation and all that and all that. We will do better, or we do better. That is how nature intended for us to eating foods in their whole state. We should try and cut down or cut out late night eating. When you're on a healthy lifestyle journey, eating at night is not advisable because there's less activity at night. At night, we're constructed to sleep at night because really there's no activity, nothing that will help us burn any energy that we consume at night. At night, all we do is sleep or rest. So eating at night means that that extra energy, the extra calories that we are consuming only just settle somewhere in our bodies, and it's usually around our midsection and all those other places where we tend to store fat. So let's try to avoid eating at night or late at night. If you must eat at night, please kindly replace it with healthy food. Healthy food, healthy snacks. There are a ton of them out there. Things that you can actually use to replace unhealthy food. You can snack on apples, you can snack on other fruits that you have in your possession. Cutting down on oil. Cutting down on oil. Replacing foods that are very high in oil or fat with either low oil, very little oil, or eating them with no oil at all. It is possible. There are ways that we can cut down on our oil consumption. We can opt to bake instead of frying. We can cook oil free. That means if the recipe calls for a certain amount of oil, you can decide to cook it without oil. There are certain foods that is possible to do this way. I've actually tried it out, and I think really we have given too much importance to oil in many of our dishes. There are some good amount of foods that we can actually eat without adding oil. I personally, I have tried making moi moi without oil. Before now, like literally before this year 2021, actually before November 2021, I had never tried it. I had never cooked moi moi without oil. So these days I'm trying to greatly reduce my oil consumption, and I asked myself why not, and I gave it a shot. I made moi moi twice now without oil, and it was delicious. I didn't even know the difference. I actually served it to a friend and I didn't tell her that there's no oil in this food, and she ate it without any question. She didn't ask me, and she didn't know. It was until I said it that she knew that there was no oil in that particular meal. So we can do without oil in most cases. But if it's something that you can't let go of, there are certain meals that probably you feel, oh no, I need to add oil. If the recipe calls for 1 cup of oil or half cup of oil, why not reduce it to either half a cup or a quarter? So these are ways you can cut down oil: reducing the quantity of oil that the recipe calls for, or cooking the meal completely without oil. If you're enjoying this video so far, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't subscribed already. Another tip that I have for you is sleep. Trying to get as much sleep as possible. A lot of people might not see the connection. I actually have a video on my channel about the importance of sleep and how sleep or lack of sleep contributes to weight gain and all of that. So sleep is really necessary, not only because it helps us in the process of weight loss. Sleep helps us to stay coordinated. I mean, you can't function at 100% without adequate amounts of sleep. You get grumpy. I, for one, I get grumpy. I get tired. Sometimes I have headaches. I'm just sometimes disorganized without getting enough sleep. So sleep causes the lack of sleep, causes hormonal imbalance in us. So it is necessary for everything to be balanced, for us to be balanced, because we are working towards living healthy. We need to rest. Rest or sleep has its own role. It is advised that we at least put in up to 6 or 8 hours of sleep every day. Don't let anybody make you feel bad for sleeping 6 hours or 8 hours. you're doing yourself a whole lot of good. That is when the body gets to recuperate from all the day's activities, because our system, from the crown of our head to the sole of our feet, inside out, all the systems, all the organs, all the cells, they are all working back to back. And it is that time of sleep that the body gets to rest. It gets rejuvenated, and then it starts again the next day when we wake up. Even the digestive system, that goes for the digestive system as well. That is why when we are sleeping, we are supposed, our digestive system and all the other systems of our body are meant to rest. So the digestive system, when we are sleeping or when we are not eating, goes on a break. That is why when we wake up and the first meal of the day we are having is called breakfast, because it is actually breaking the fasts that the body has gone on, or the digestive system has gone on during the time of sleeping. So sleeping is important. It gives our body, it gives our organs and our systems time to rest and build up. The next thing I want to talk about is the fact that we have to reduce our salt consumption. Unknowingly to us, a lot of foods, a lot of processed foods actually contain more salt than we can imagine. So I got tired of sitting down. So another interesting tip that I have for you is the fact that you should only eat when you're hungry. This helps a lot. Impulse eating does not help us. It is not advantageous in any way. Eat when you're hungry. That way you eat, you're satisfied, and you move on. Eating whenever you see something or whenever food is available is not healthy. We should always pay attention to that hunger cue. Get used to your body, know when you're hungry, and know when to eat. Only eat when you are hungry. We have to move more. Moving in the sense of exercising. Exercise is great for us. Exercise is wonderful. It helps our cardiovascular system. It helps us in feeling better about ourselves. It reduces our stress levels. It gives us a better disposition. We just find for me, let me not speak for you, but for me, whenever I exercise, I feel more energized. I feel more ready to take on the day's activities. I feel stronger. I feel like more alert. Exercise does a lot for us. It builds us. Apart from physically making us stronger, it also makes us psychologically stronger. Exercise is good for us. It helps us feel stronger. It helps us stay motivated. It keeps us alert, and it helps our system, our cardiovascular system, our respiratory system, and all of that. So let's move more, and yes, that is another healthy tip that I have for you. Last and the final tip that I have for us today is stop worrying. You might be wondering, how does this amount to living healthy? Worrying can stress us out, and stress is unhealthy. Worrying about anything, no matter what it is, can complicate issues for us. Some people already have some health challenges that when you now add worrying to the equation, it escalates beyond what it's supposed to be. Worrying should not be a part of us. We should try as much as possible to stop worrying. For those of us that are Christians, or the good book, the Holy Bible, talks about worrying. It says worrying cannot add a strand of hair to your head. And it's true. Worrying cannot change the situation. Worrying or stressing yourself up about a problem, about a challenge, cannot do anything about it, cannot put an end to that problem. So it is only going to aggravate the problem. It is only going to increase the problem by making us sick, by making us feel even worse than we are already feeling. So for our health's sake, let us try as much as possible to stop worrying about things. They say problems never end. Yes, you have your challenges, I have my own challenges. But one thing I want us to take home from this video is that worrying about those challenges, worrying about those problems will not solve them. Instead, we should look for practical solutions, and where we can't find practical solutions, let us put it aside. Put worrying aside, because it will only make things worse. Worrying will only make things worse. So we cannot change anything by worrying about it. We should only do what we can. Look for practical solutions, and where it doesn't work, we let it go. So, to bring this video to an end, I want to point out that all of these things, all of these tips, they are great. And yes, it's not magic. It's not a one-size-fits-all. It's not an overnight miracle or an overnight magic pill that you just take and everything suddenly goes boom. No. Sometimes we rise, sometimes we fall, sometimes we move, sometimes we stop, sometimes we walk, sometimes we crawl. There are different things, different stages of life. There are different, everybody approaches these things in different ways. What works for you might not work for me. What works for the other person might not work for you. I that am giving these suggestions, these tips, I am not perfect. I have only found that these are things that are working. They work if you keep at it. The main thing, the main point of this video is to do these things that help you live healthy, be consistent, and be forgiving to yourself. If you fail, don't stop. Don't remain on the floor. Get right back up and keep going. That's what has sustained me up till this moment and is still keeping me going. Do I exercise every day? No. Do I get this healthy eating thing 100% every day? No. But having this knowledge, holding on to it, and working on myself consistently is what has helped me most. And that is why I'm sharing with you. That you hold on to this knowledge, always remind yourself of these things, and keep working at it. We will all get there. Make it a lifetime project. Make it a lifetime journey. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the